Good evening, everyone. So we'd like to welcome each and everyone for this positive thinking course on our second meeting, our second session. So we hope that you had done some kind of reflection, some kind of practice about the use of the mind, the power of the mind from what we have discussed last time. So for the session that we are going to have tonight, it would be more on being aware that there are challenges, that there are really things that I have to work on and determined to really be on my path to being positive. At the beginning, it will not be that simple. But as we keep on practicing and practicing these things, then it is going to be like as easy as being negative, as easy as complaining, as easy as commenting. Because, like you see, if we whatever we do practice and practice, then it becomes really part of my subconscious. It becomes automated. So at the moment, we put focus, we put attention just on how we are using our mind. So as I've said last time, we want an experience that we truly want. And what is that experience? It's an experience of peace. It's an experience of joy, of love, and happiness. Okay, so we go into the second session. Okay, start with. So let me have my PowerPoint. So as I have said earlier, the aim of our session today is to understand the challenges that are faced in becoming positive. And of course, if we realize this, then I work on overcoming these obstacles, if ever there are obstacles. So later on, we'll see that, okay, they're not really as obstacles because, again, it's all about what we put our thinking on. Okay. So, and of course, within this, there are some of the objectives that you want. First is the awareness of the qualities of the inner self, to understand the obstacles and influences in being positive, as I've said earlier, to develop greater influence over things we care about, and remove the obstacles we face. To understand what freedom means, this is very important, no? And how it can be experienced. And of course, as we move on along our discussion, it would be more of experiencing also some reflective thoughts that we use in our discussion. So as we are doing this, let's put ourselves as the subject and put it as a way that as we are doing this, it's not all about getting some information, that as much as we can come up with some experience going into the depth of what I truly can get from this sharing that we have. Okay, so let's start with this, no? Influences. So what are these influences that somehow we say make me negative, that bring about negative thinking, or that bring about wasteful thinking? So I hope you did some kind of checking of thoughts last week. Okay, sorry, can I just go to that? No, so you did some kind of checking of thoughts. So let me see the participants again. Sorry. Yeah, so you did some checking, because this is very important, not checking about the thoughts. We can only, let's say, steer and change if we know that we are into waste, we are into negative. And we know that what we have learned in our previous session is the thought that we bundle together, we plant in our mind, because these are seeds, this will bring the feeling and later on the emotion. And this will just be, manipulating us, or directing us into some decision, into some emotions, no, and relation and things. A lot of things can happen. So let's take a look at the examples of these influences. So one is the influence of circumstances, like, okay, my being miserable is because it is raining. Well, here it is, we welcome the raining. So probably say, I feel miserable, I don't feel good, I am off mood because it is so hot. Yeah, nowadays the temperature seems to be like sizzling, no? Okay. So we go into that. I feel bad, I feel miserable. Why? No? Because of some circumstances, the weather. Circumstance like, I didn't have any formal education. Okay. That's why, okay, I cannot have a good career. That's why I am like this. So in other words, okay, we always have some kind of situation, or we take situation that comes along the way as an excuse for our feeling, for our situation, for what we are now, okay, and so on. No? So while it's true that these circumstances can have some kind, or is a factor that somehow determines where we are in. But as I have said, and as we are going to discuss, and we are going to put emphasis on, it's all about how I am relating to these circumstances and situation. Yeah, okay. Like, okay, yes, okay, it can be very hot, but I don't have to put focus into being very hot. I suffer because I put my focus into this. Like what they say, I've heard of this, is a beautiful analogy. Like they say, which is true now for the examples that I'm going to give you. No? The example is, okay, nobody dies. If someone is bitten by a snake, okay, and that person, dies. So we don't say that the person dies because of what? The bite of the snake, because it was bitten by the snake. So why did the person die, or why was the person sick? It's not because of the bite, no, but it's because of the venom, that poisonous thing that goes now into that. So the same thing for us, okay? Yes, things happen. It may be very unpleasant. It may be really, okay, our scenario that can come. But my suffering, okay, will be more based now on the type of thoughts that I put in, how I relate to the situation based on the kind of thinking that I have. Okay. Well, I will put it now like, okay, for some who may not have formal education, who may not have finished really a certain degree, okay? And we have quite a number of these very famous people, okay, along the field of technology, like for example, Stephen Jobs, okay? And a lot of these very successful people who are not formally educated, but they were able now to rise over this circumstance, and they use this kind of situation to be able now to have that kind of energy. So the bottom line there is, okay, I may be uncomfortable, I may be having pain, I may be having something, which is the reality of whatever situation that I have. But what will make me suffer will be the thoughts that I will be putting on into this. So I feel miserable will be one. Okay, you will come up. If we are not going to put a stop here, there will be another statement that will follow. There will be another statement will follow. And remember what I said last time, bundle all of these waste thoughts together, it will bring, okay, unpleasant feeling. Okay, as they say, that you may be hit by an arrow once and you will feel the pain. But the suffering is because of the small arrows that I target on myself. And what are these small arrows? It will be these waste thoughts that I put on into my mind. And that is what makes me suffer. Is what makes me really miserable. So this is now the obstacle, okay? It's not really the circumstance, but the obstacle is the way we are perceiving the situation. It's the belief that we have acquired and that we have accumulated that are within, that we allow it now to work to be able now to relate with the situation. So we are going to address on this. So this will be one example, and other examples will be influence of possessions. Like, for example, we can see a lot of people are having, this thing, new phone, new car, new, okay? And of course, at the back of our mind, we'll say, okay, I wish I could have one. But it's not only I wish, I have to have one also sometimes, okay? We feel miserable because other people are having a lot of things. I want now to be like in that line. So this is also one thing that we can give a thought, no? That we re-examine really what it means to be a successful person. Because nowadays, the meaning of success is dictated on us. It means you must have this possession, you must have, this education, you must have. So it's all stereotype, it's all put in a standard or encased into a certain structure. But success is more than that. So if I allow myself to be limited into this kind of, belief, into this kind of what society dictates on me, then again, okay, that is a kind of influence that one way or another will come along to be able now to bring wasteful and negative thoughts. No? So like these are very mundane examples, but it's enough to, to take away my peace at a certain point in the morning. If I can find the right color for my shoes, the right color for my tie, the right color for my bag, what happens? Okay, I'll throw this suit. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to, yeah. Of course, for some it may not be, but it's just an example that can happen. Someone has moved my books, so I'm not going now until I find them. No? Don't talk to me today because someone had scratched my car. Don't talk to me today because, okay, blah, 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 blah. So again, some conditions come. So as I will be talking later, okay, anyway, it's good to put on now, no? If we put conditions time and again of our feeling good and feeling great, okay, we will not run out of what? Of conditions. Because condition one after the other, we will not be satisfied. Because first and foremost is, okay, I have opened myself vulnerable into the influence of possessions, of situation, of people to determine my peace, my happiness. So another example here. Of course, people. So this one is a good example, no? We can always come up with reasons, no? Why I am feeling bad because of this person, because of them, because of my past, and so on. Why can't they put things in the right place? No? Well, it's a very good character to be orderly, to be, okay, having things at the right place. But okay, this can be, it can, boomerang to me. It can boomerang to me. No? Like if I'm so fixated again into that, no, that others have to be like the way I am. That's the bottom line of this. Why can't they put things in the right place? So I'm saying it's good not to go into the depth of these statements that we put. Okay, what we're saying is people have to do the way I do things, as the way it is. But again, reflect on this. Okay. So is it possible that everybody will be doing exactly the way I am doing things? So this will be the initial things that we can have, no, to reflect on this thing. So if I find myself now coming up with allowing or coming up with influences of people and they are doing things even not with the intention of what? Of making us feel bad. It is just that that's the way they are. They are trained. They are not trained the way that we are trained. Okay? So it's like accepting at a certain point that others have their own way of doing things, which may be not good, but we cannot change people overnight. I go back to what I said. What I can change is the way I perceive the situation, the way I am responding rather than reacting. So the tone of this statement, why can't they put their things in the right place, is already a tone of a kind of ready to do some more reaction into that. So what will happen with the thought? Why can't they put things in the right place? I will just be, okay, so caught up into, because this is my focus, no? So I will be looking at that person and figure out now that, okay, where is she placing this one? Where is she placing this? Where is she placing that? And truly, once we are into this, that is what we attract. Okay, pretty sure, 99%, the person will just have now to misplace things. Okay, because we are unaware also that that is exactly what I am attracting. Okay, yeah. So that's why it's good to, to reflect on these things. I had a friend who had a roommate, okay? And this friend of mine is like so, not so orderly, but okay, it's like doing things, putting things at the right place. You should know what to do, basically if you are with somebody. So, and the other, the roommate is, it's like maybe that's the training was not, trained in that way where, if you see something that are spoiled, okay, you take it out, put it in the laundry, okay? If you see things mess up, okay, already you put your hand into it. Or, okay, if you mess up things, then I should be responsible to, put that. Okay, so that has been now the experience. And of course, okay, it irritated that person a lot and a lot, okay? That to the point that he looks at the person, this is not the prevailing thing, okay? This person is not organized, this person is not responsible, okay? But she's practicing now, okay, being positive, okay, into this. And one day, she decided that this cannot be the thing that will happen. I cannot allow this person to determine my what? My peace to start with. So she started experimenting in when she sees the person okay, doing things rather than putting the focus that that person again will again okay misplace things, not clean things up. So she would say okay that eventually this person is going to be responsible, or okay she puts in her mind, I want to have a person with me, a roommate who is responsible. So every time this thought will come, this kind of judgment will come. Okay, so what she puts in her mind is, okay, I want a person, okay, my roommate to be a responsible person. Okay, and at that point, okay, it's like the experience is you don't allow yourself now to go into further waste thought into negative thinking. Now, what happens? The story goes this way. Okay, like one day, okay, so the person has to go for some reasons, no? Okay, and she left. So she was saying, is it because of what I was I was wishing for? But anyway, no, somebody replaced her, and that person is exactly the opposite, okay, of the first, the first roommate. She was so, neat and tidy, more neat and tidy than she is. Everything she puts now in spick and span in orderly and organized way. And she was, smiling and she was sharing me and she was really like smiling to herself and say, really, okay, that what you put in your mind, what you water, the seed that you put, what you get now to water, what you get to focus, eventually is what is going to be manifested. Okay, so same thing, no? So if I always now go now into this complaining mode, into this feeling, guilty feeling, okay, going now into the past, naturally, we will also be in the cycle of what? Of waste and negativity. Okay? So as I told last time, and I want to repeat this because this happens, okay? And it comes now in an automated mode, that many times our mind is so preoccupied with things that we don't want. like that, okay? I don't like this one. I don't like that, okay? I don't want, for example, chocolate because I have to lose weight. I don't want chocolate. I don't want chocolate. Now, the moment, okay, that you go out, open the fridge, what do you see? Okay, chocolates with different brands. Okay, so rephrase. Really, the question that you have always to put there, if you have to write down this question where you can be reminded, and I've been doing that, okay? Pocket it in there in your, in your mind. What do I really want? Huh? So there, okay, so it gives us now, okay, it resets us to that aim of what we want, because we can be caught up with the existing feelings and emotions. And this is the one that is making me feel bad, okay? That is the one that takes away my peace to start with. And all rest will follow. If my peace is gone, it's so difficult to be kind. It's so difficult to be understanding, okay? And we don't want to have this kind of experience. And naturally, our body is going to be affected, okay? So I know best. Why are they not listening to me? So-and-so is very clever. My ideas won't be of any use. So two things. I can be in the state of arrogance, or I can be in that state of being a victim. Both ways. So like the image that you have here, I tie myself with something else that, okay, enables me to be very limited. So where is that limitation? Where is that, bars, that boundaries that I have, not boundaries, but these limitations that I put, it is all in my what? In my mind. The way I am relating to people, to situation, and to a lot of things. Now, nowadays, okay, this has been compounded because of this modern day influence that we have, isn't it? Okay? See, okay, people as before, let's say, contained to people that we get now to see, okay, really as the way it is. But nowadays, because of the existence of this social media, okay, and this technology that we have, no, they post anything that they have, okay, what they are eating now, okay, what they have eaten, where they are, what are they doing, and so on, okay? And there is this fear of being missing out. They say the FOMO, okay, into that. So if we allow ourselves to be exposed, okay, into things that I don't have to, this is also something that actually contributes a lot to my being into the cycle of waste and waste, huh? Okay, and later on it will go into negativity. Why I'm not as good as them? Why I'm not coming up now with this kind of experience that they have? What they put in the social media, okay, as only a certain percent of the entire thing, that is what is happening to them. So what happens is I will take the bait, and okay, I take it as a way, oh, they're happy, I'm not happy. See, okay? And then we play on this. Okay, and we come up with so small arrows that is actually hitting us, and later on, okay, we don't even realize that I am in an off mood. Okay, so there also, no, these things can play a very important role into my being positive. Well, the good thing about this thing also is, rather than going now into things that are not useful, waste, okay, do I have to know what this person is eating, is wearing, okay, and so on? I might as well use this media. It has a lot of use also into going into hearing about beautiful, quotes, beautiful music, okay, and these things. So it's again being able now to discern and to see what really matters to me at this time. So going now into being preoccupied, okay, other than what I really need about others, about situation, is just now pulling me into the direction that I don't want. Okay, at least at this point, I want to keep my peace. So again, that reflection is what I am thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm watching, because it involves a lot of the senses, these influences that come. will contribute now to what I truly want to experience at this very moment. If not, okay, the SOS, no? So stand back, observe, and then, okay, try now to reflect as we are doing more practice and practice into this. You'll be good at coming up with a lot of choices that we actually have to be able now to make the day so great. It's all within our hands. So I'm not saying that the technology is, is bad, but it's about, again, how I am using this. Is it being used to influence me in a negative or wasteful manner? Okay. Or am I using this in order to enhance my being peaceful, my being positive, my being, joyful? So, but this, okay, really is one thing, no? The social media and this. And this is a very common scene that we see now, okay? Everyone gets together, they go before the when they used to have the restaurant. Everyone goes to the restaurant, they get to sit in the restaurant, and what happens? Everyone will be preoccupied with their own smartphones, okay? Yeah. So the phones have become smart, but what about me? At this point, I have now to put that kind of, I am smart enough to know what, okay, what will influence me, what will bring me, okay, into the cycle of waste, negativity, and bring me now into the cycle of positivity. Okay? So, in other words, so there are a lot more, okay? So you can reflect on this. So one thing is about now, okay, what really, okay, is putting a lot of influence in me. That means, okay, it's like what is taking away my peace. Each one will have their own. Is it the influence of possession? Is it the influence of what others say? Is it the influence of, okay, how I look? Okay, a lot of these things that come, no? So, which most of the time seem to be on the external, but the bottom line actually is it's all about, again, the thoughts that I put in relation to situation, to people, and what is happening. But to start with, this will be the trigger, okay? So it's good now to pay attention now, into these things. And one thing that you can pocket into your mind, again, would be this. If I allow the influence to really take hold of me, one influence will lead to further influence and further influence. So if you are moving something, doing something based on the influence of others, what happens? It will lead to dependency. I will be depending on certain conditions, on certain people, okay, to be able now to make me feel good. And not all the time that everything is nice. That's the truth, okay? Yeah, as the way it is. So if I develop this dependency, what happens? So when the weather is bad, I am also bad. I also feel bad. No? See? If the mood of my friend is bad, then what happens? I will also be in an off mood. Okay? So it's like I am a puppet. No? Then I will lack clarity. Very important. Okay? The way I am doing things, the way I'm relating now with others, it will affect. So if my friend did not speak to me, okay, my partner did not speak to me, my spouse, okay, something, what happens now, okay, will be how will be my relationship with others? Will it be based on that existing mood or condition? So there would be mistakes, there would be wrong decisions, no? And again, this will bind me into further influence. Why? I am in a state of what? Ignorance. Thinking that what? That my success is based on this, my happiness is based on this condition, okay? My being joyful, okay? The love, okay, is based on a lot of the conditions. Okay, so it will snowball. So that's the truth, okay, about that, okay, picture that you see in their image, okay. So it snowballs, and it will what? It will be deposited in my memory, into my subconscious. So remember that image that I showed you. There is the conscious, and the more that I keep on thinking and add some kind of thoughts, and if it happens to be negative, it will go down, okay, in my subconscious, and it will be it will be impressed, okay, as negativity. And the moment a situation comes or that person comes, what will open up immediately? Because every time we are not conscious, no, most of the time we are in unconscious. So the unconscious, okay, thinking will just prop up immediately, okay? And that's why we get to wonder, why is it, okay, that it's like I didn't intend to, but it happened to be. Why? Because now this subconscious, these things that I allow it to be impressed in my subconscious will really work so strongly. So at this point, okay, I would say that it's time to take hold of the remote control of your life. So it's just like, okay, the things that we have here, they are all with remote control. Okay, what about the remote control of my life? No? Everything, most of the things that we have here is functioning with remote control. So that's why you want to take hold of this, okay? The AC, it should be within me, okay? With me, close to my reach. Why? If I feel cold, what happens? I can go into the setting and change the setting, okay? If I want warm, okay, I can do that. Same thing, okay? So what have we put there into the setting? That's one, okay? Have I put the setting of that kind of experience, that kind of feeling that I want? What do I want? Okay, we may have put, but what happened? The remote control might have been taken by somebody else, and they are playing, okay, into that, and that is what is really happening with us. Okay, so we allow this remote control, okay, into the hands of others. Accidentally they press, maybe, or even, in a conscious way that they press that kind of setting. It goes into that. Why? I don't have, no? I don't have the remote control in my hands. So one powerful thought that I can keep with me is, okay, to keep that remote control within my hands. Rewind, you can always reset, okay, your life. Past is past, okay? Is my setting always on the past memories? Is my setting always on the pain, okay? Or is my setting on something that I can create at the moment and feel, okay, and flood whatever situation that come along this kind of setting that I have put in my life. So in other words, okay, what happens here is, to a certain extent, I need to have this kind of self-talk, no? That I have to be able now to, to refresh and to come up with clarity with a lot of things that I need to be clear about. Otherwise, okay, I will just be, moving according to that setting that has been put by others or according to that automated setting. So I said, okay, be clear, okay, what is the setting that I would want? And the more that we practice and practice and practice this, then this becomes also the automated, setting in my life. But the whole idea is to take hold of this. Means I have to gain mastery, especially with the thoughts that I want now to focus, to understand how this, the process of the mind is working. Okay, so these are the influences. So again, I repeat, we think that the influences, okay, are external, they are the one causing, but no, okay, to a certain extent, yes, we may feel that unpleasantness, but the other things would now have to rely on what are the thoughts that I put in relation to these things that may have happened. The reality is there, as I've said. Positive thinking does not mean that I would say, no, okay, there is nothing bad that happens there. Okay? Yeah, we recognize that there is a problem. Say, no problem. Okay? As many would say, no problem. The problem is there. Okay? But what happens is, at the moment, I choose now to focus on the solution rather than the blame game. Okay? Rather than, okay, coming up with thinking, ruminating about the past. Okay. So how do we, at this point, no, to start with, how do we overcome the influences? Okay, so this is a nice image. So no matter how they bark, or with that anger, no? So if you have the remote control of your life, you have gained mastery over the senses. That's the meaning. You have gained mastery over your mind. Okay, then what? Okay, you can be in that state of peace. And later on, that person, okay, who is barking on you will just give up, okay, and get to wonder what is happening, okay? What's wrong with that person? No, it's not what's wrong with that person, okay? What's right with that person? Then you will reflect, what's wrong with me? No? Yeah, okay. So one of the good things that we can reflect on is this one. Why do people accept the opinions of others about themselves as the truth? Huh? Yeah, so I think this one, we take the bait of this, no? So we fall prey on this. That I want, because I think the idea of wanting to belong, that's the bottom line. Okay? But in that, fulfilling this kind of desire that we have, what happens is, okay, like we lose our freedom, no? Because the truth that we take is not really the truth. But once we go into that state of truth, no matter what, okay, even it is I against the world, okay, then there is that kind of feeling of that contentment and really, victory. No? Because what happens now if I am just coming up with something else in order just to feel nice in front of the others, what happens is, again, that is an influence and that will bind me always to be thinking, I will be intention of thinking how to feel nice. In the next session that we are going to have, how do we do that, okay? Be in that state of truth. It is important to understand and to go into the knowledge of what is really the truth about myself. Not until, for me, from my experience, not until I went now into this aspect of meditation that I'm able to develop my self-respect, my self-esteem, and my self-confidence, the three main things, okay? And actually what happens is circumstances happen. Actually, they're just, giving us a signal that, okay, come on, this is where you have to go. Because internally, this is what we truly want to experience. But if I am not awakened, okay, and I'm not into that very subtle way of understanding and listening, then I will be caught up into that what? Into that cycle of going like roundabout, going round, 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 okay? But later, I'm pretty sure that we'll get now to listen into the signals that is happening around. So that's one, okay? It's like now to check, okay? Are the standards that are set by the society really the truth? About success, is that really the truth? Because somehow this will be a big influence on me on how I am dealing with my life. Other point that I have to reflect on here is about, we know that external influences, what is happening out there, people that we are with are big, factors. So it's good now to check that if I truly would want now to come up with really freedom in my life, then I have now to be discerning about what I see, what I hear, what I, how my senses are being influenced. Am I being driven by what I taste, by what I hear? Okay? So there, no time and again to come up with a pause. So it's not about what is, what we hear in there. Like now, okay? I've been so engrossed in talking, okay, and being with you that there is the sound of the AC, but I did not hear it until now that I put my focus into, oh, there is an AC that is on. But within that, okay, until this time, then I did not really hear that AC. Why? My focus now is into different things. So again, it's all about the focus. Yes, you get now to hear, but I have that ability to divert it into something that contributes into my feeling great and feeling good. Okay, so be selective. This is where my discerning process will happen. Okay, here. So another thing, so if you would want to come up with really something else that will help me to go beyond the influences, just like these things will bring a lot of storms, a lot of instability, But as they say, if you are caught up with a storm in the middle of the ocean, where is the safe place? It is in the eye of the storm. So same thing like in the scenario that we are in, where we hear a lot of negativity, a lot of fear, and a lot of these things. So where do we go? No, not to be on the external, to go inward and go into the eye. The I is the truth about myself and what really is happening into the situation, why this thing is happening. Okay, like for example, no, that is now I am so caught up now into doing something in order now to please, for example, the people out there. They should not say anything negative about what I say, of course, no, that we should also observe about a certain standard, okay? But that is not the basis of how I am doing things. Otherwise, I'll be caught up here and there. The ultimate thing is, okay, is I am in my state of truth. I will be speaking the right thing. I will be speaking in the right way. Okay, it will be manifested. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, or address why I am being influenced by this. What really is the seed of this influence? Is it because of I lack self-respect? Is it because, okay, of a certain insecurity? So if I'm able to also to recognize this, then I can work inside, okay? Not on the outside, because it will bring more and more turmoil into. So it's an inward process that we have to deal with, which will be our next discussion about this eye of the storm that will bring a more stable and really it's a long-term, if not a lifetime way of being positive, not only positive, but really even beyond that, okay? So at this point, it's good to know that we actually have these qualities that we are trying to pursue from out there, okay? For example, happiness. Why we are caught up into this, why we are in the influence of this, because we want to experience happiness, okay? We want to be happy. This situation come, I want to be happy. This person, I have to please that person, oh, I want to experience happiness. I want to bring happiness. Actually, all these things that we are trying to pursue in there, trying now to follow a certain restriction or condition, so we have, it's actually within me. They are what we call my innate qualities: the peace, the love, happiness, strength, and wisdom. I just didn't know, maybe, or I keep on forgetting. Why? Because of the conditions that I allowed to happen to me. This will be my discussion for the next session, no? Next week. So it's important that I go now into this spiritual knowledge because it is the one that empowers me. I have to break that chain, okay, of thinking that when I do all those influences, it will enable me or it will empower me. No, actually, okay, I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable situation. Okay, so at this point, okay, we are at the door of that certain freedom. It is a challenge that we have now to do, but at a certain point, okay, it's like a decision that I have now to make. Sometimes, really, okay, it will have now to take that kind of determination because we have been so used to a lot of things. Okay, so what truly for me is freedom? No, freedom means, okay, I'm able now to choose and take what I have chosen in order now to bring benefit to me and to others. It's not only to me, okay? And this is one of the things that we, that we don't take. So that's why I may be benefiting, but the others is not. Then that is not the real aspect of freedom. You can take anything, okay? But one thing, okay, that we have to take is that freedom, the true freedom. Okay. So what goes with the freedom? It is actually the responsibility. Why we allow the influences now to come and take away my freedom? Because, okay, it's like they will do and I will be okay. No. Here, in this aspect of this positive thinking or this positive, developing this positive outlook, positive way of life is, one, I take responsibility. The first is, I know I have a choice. I can choose to think this way, wastefully, or I can take now some positive thoughts. It's my choice. And the second is, okay, that I am responsible for the choice that I have taken. Huh? What are the consequences that come? And this is one thing already that a lot, miss. Yes, okay, they say yes, but the consequence, never mind. But if, okay, I go down into this, the consequence, okay, is also put on me. Then I will have to rethink over and over of how I'm going to respond and how I'm going to deal with a lot of situations. So we have a lot of choices. We have a lot of choices means choice of thought, choice of awareness, choice of attitude, okay? And then it will go into action. And if you choose not to decide also, okay, not to take any act, it's also a choice. Okay, so this is the initial state of freedom. So exercising a choice. So that is now the first sign, being free from external influence. So how can we do that now? We can be free from this because already the seed that had been planted in us, maybe it had been there, but I just have watered it now, is, okay, I have within me peace, love, and strength. Okay, we come up with a self-talk like this. So what is the choice? Okay, is it peace, love, strength, or is it the ego? Is it the anger? Which is my choice? Okay, will I be able not to come up with that responsibility to take the choice and that, to be able not to take the consequence of that choice? Yeah, okay. So how to go into that will be for the next two, okay, sessions that we have. So freedom is being able to think, experience, and express. First is to think the right thoughts that are beneficial for me and for others, okay? To experience this within and then to express, okay? What I want to, when I want to, okay? Express what I want to and when I want to. So bottom line there is, okay, we have all these innate qualities that we have wanting to be what? To be experienced and expressed. So the question is, okay, how and when I am able to do this? Because we didn't know, okay, and we are not focused into this. We try not to do it on the external rather than the internal. So, okay, at this point, I would say it's working on that internal. We have a very big influence and a very powerful influence, but we are not using that influence, that innate quality that we have within. And if I'm not using this, then I'll not be good at that. What I will be good at is complaining, okay, criticizing, which is on the external. And the two cannot go together. Peace, criticizing, complaining cannot go together. So I'll be on this one rather than in this. So always when I catch myself coming up with these thoughts, come up, okay? So stand there, okay? Stand back and see what will happen. So one of the important points also to be able not to get rid of these obstacles that come along the way, and later on they will not become obstacles, is always to work on something that will change the perspective. That enables me to look at things in a bigger picture, okay, in a far-sighted way. See, okay, it's like my vision. How is my vision? Is it only fixated into this, or is it far-reaching or encompassing? I have to develop this ability, okay, of that kind of perspective, because this is one big influence of my own, okay? So now I will be working and maybe, fighting in a way with my own internal influence. And one of the big influence here is my self-limiting belief, okay? Perspective that is so limited. So like I am influenced by circumstances, possessions, then it becomes I choose my response. So from those influences. So my state of mind depends upon what others say and do. Okay, so this is like what we have developed before. Now, It becomes, I create my state of mind. I can create my state of mind. And the way whatever state of mind that I create, others will also respond accordingly. If they may not respond according to what, okay, then also accept that. At least I'm able now to come up with the right way to respond. Because sometimes it's just a matter of time for people also to change their perspective. Okay, this is also an important aspect. Yeah. So if we choose, so again, it's a choice. If we always choose to be at the bottom, bottom frequency, that is the kind of experience that we want. What about if we go into higher frequency, higher rung of the ladder? There would be different view that we will have, no? Rather than just being fixated there. And it's worth trying, okay? Because perspective dictates your life experiences into the ladder of consciousness. So it's working on this ladder of consciousness. So next discussion that I will have, I will be focusing into this highest consciousness that I can have so that I can always work on the highest, way of looking at things. So the SOS again, as I have started last time. So the same practice if you can, okay? So stand back, okay? Be a detached observer, no judgment, as the way it is, okay? Come up now with, let's say, statements that don't allow you now to go into negativity, like problems don't last forever. If ever problems will come, tomorrow can hold a solution. If not, okay, then let it be, and then as the way it is. So when you stand back, you provide a kind of a space by which your mind can work on a different perspective and perhaps see a better solution, or to be able now to get out of the grip of that, bundle of thoughts that may come when I don't do the pause moment. Then observe, okay? Because you have that clarity, then you can check what is influencing me, as I've said earlier. People influence me. Why I'm being influenced by them? Because of my insecurity. Now I don't have to be insecure because happiness is not dependent only on these material things, on the certificate that you get. There are a lot more. Okay, so it's like self-talk is also very important that I develop. And then you steer. So if you recognize that there is this, okay, don't allow yourself to be carried on with all of these influences. So steer, okay, means to change perspective, okay, to change thought, to change the attitude. So a positive attitude creates positive reactions, which will give way to positivity. So be independent, the freedom, okay, yet interdependent in relationship. Be independent, okay, but you don't isolate yourself. You know that, okay, you have to be in relationship to be able to express, okay, but don't allow yourself to be into the limitations of these things. Still, the freedom will be there. And you can see that you and others will also be in that state of great feeling, greatness. So if you have some questions, okay, you can put it in the chat board and then I can go through it and try not to answer when we have the next session. So I saw one comment last time of wanting to have the recording of this. So what we will do is to upload this into the YouTube. So if you want now to go over, okay, then you will be doing so by episode, okay? So one episode. Okay, yeah. So we have here as to end the session tonight. It's not the end, okay? It's just for tonight, something to think about. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. So it's all about the process of going now into these things, seminars that we are doing. It's coming up with a way by which I am building up my self-respect, who I truly am. No? So it's like, okay, I build that, okay, from that very stable way of, looking and, loving myself. Then, okay, I know how to live. It's not too late. Yeah, okay. It can start now. Well, you can start tomorrow, but it's good to start now. Live right now. So thank you for your positive presence. and wishing you positive weekend. Yeah, stay positive and stay safe. So we will end up with maybe a minute of silence or a minute of like very short meditation. I sit comfortably and just allow this body, all the senses, just to be as the way they are. A lot of things to be seen, a lot of things to be heard. But if I choose to focus on my mind, to what is important, to what brings me peace to start with, it, my mind will obey. So I choose to be in that silence, that peace, that stillness, that joy of life is actually within. I just have to put that switch, that focus, that remote control, and put on the setting of that joy. Awaken the joy. Think when we were children, when we were kids, does it take something costly to make us joyful? No. Look at them. Look at the kids. They just allow themselves to be and just be in spontaneous of whatever they think and nothing more. Then, okay, they experience the joy. They experience the purity. They experience peace. Let's go back to this innocence that we once had. We had this. And go into this essence of just being into that state of really me. I am truly positive. Being happy, we didn't learn that. But we have acquired being grumpy, being into this anger, being into this attachment. So just be means I just go into my innate and original qualities, my original program that I am. I have to do this practice time and again of just going inward and just allow my internal influence to take hold of my feelings and later on into my response and into how I deal with people and situations. It will also come naturally. So in the state of peace, I thank the Supreme. I thank the drama, all circumstances actually that bring me into this realization. I radiate peace and positivity to the world. Allow this positivity to be multiplied through us into our positive presence. Om Shanti. So thank you for being with us. So experiment this during the weekend, okay? And tell me, okay? You can put that in the chat, no? If you would want to do some sharing, okay? It would be wonderful. So I look forward to the 2 sessions for next meeting on Tuesday and then on Thursday. Tuesday will be going into the depth of the innate qualities, and then on the last day will be about spiritual law, especially the law of karma. So thank you for being with us. It's really wonderful to have your positive presence.